What's up, fight fans? This is Kurtaville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning the LDB to the C. Now, I just got word, and I was told to counterpunch a particular video by the famous Fanny Fanons, is that's how he was called, and he made a video that claimed that Errol Spence, his star power is now bigger than Anthony Joshua, and he sells more pay-per-view and brings in more revenue than AJ. And when I mean AJ, you know I mean Anthony Joshua. Now, first of all, I can't begin to tell you how ridiculous that is, okay? Like Floyd said, the proof's in the pudding. You see what I'm saying? Speaking of Floyd Mayweather, was Floyd Mayweather in Texas when Errol Spence beat Danny Garcia? Or should I say when Errol Spence fought Danny Garcia? No. On top of that, you had more access, right? You had 10,000 people in attendance at the AT&T Stadium, right? You only had 1,000 people at the Wembley Stadium for Joshua and Pulev. Now, it's been reported that Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia, the pay-per-view numbers were at 250 pay-per-view buys. Okay? 250 pay-per-view buys. And you know the numbers of Anthony Joshua? 600,000 pay-per-view buys. That shit damn near goes in, damn near, it's 2.5 times, damn near 3 times, okay, the amount of number. Okay, yeah, I know it was at $79.90 or $75.99 or some shit like that, $74.99, you know, but 250 pay-per-view buys versus 600,000 is not a comparison, okay? Versus, let's talk about the overall amount of revenue that Anthony Joshua made. What did Errol Spence make on his last pay-per-view? Okay. Now, this is just his purse. It's reported that he is guaranteed $8 million, and if the pay-per-view numbers are expected, he will clear $10 million in total. It's a lot of money. Danny is guaranteed $5 million from the fight, plus a share of the pay-per-view revenue. Okay, so $10 million. So I think it had to clear. I don't know how much it had to clear, but he at least made 8. Okay, so let's look up Anthony Joshua's. Okay. I had to put this out. Okay. Now here's the thing. Joshua is expected to earn 10 million pounds, okay, which is more than 13 million. According to the Telegraph, and Pulev should be in the neighborhood of 3 million, nearly 4 million pounds. Okay, well, from pay-per-view numbers, Joshua wins. From overall fight purses, Joshua wins. 8 million compared to 13 million. That's not a comparison. If somebody told you they're going to give you $13 and turn around and gave you 8, you'd be pretty damn upset, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? So I don't know what they're talking about, but in hindsight, you have to understand, like, shout out to Mr. Frank. Shout out to you that sent me the article to Counterpunch. Fanon is an LDBC channel. He follows the LDBC. Their narratives are pretty simple. and pretty redundant. They follow Fox, PBC, Showtime. They really don't follow. That's their primary. Everything else, ESPN, DAZN, and, you know, with the Golden Boy Matchroom, that's secondary. Okay, that's not anything that they follow closely. They get their interviews from the fighters, of Al Haymon fighters, and they're just really doing their job being a biased channel. That's it, because they get their revenue and they get their audience from welterweights mostly. You know what I mean? And that's how they look at it. That's why they follow Glovegate, because that's their really only heavyweight, which is, you know, other outfits have more heavyweights to talk about and to view. They only have that really one. You notice they don't really talk about Charles Martin or really Andy Ruiz for that matter. They really follow Wilder because Wilder is the guy that they decided to back because he fits the bill. He's black, right? So he's that model, right? He's that example model. He's urban, and he's an Al Haymon fighter. Okay, so he meets all the criteria. You see what I'm saying? So if he would have went to DAZN, they probably would have looked at him in a whole different light. You know, a lot of those guys have chose to do certain things and they decide to promote certain things. But Fanon's just doing his job. He's just doing his job being a biased person. He's supposed to preach to his audience that Errol Spence is a bigger draw than Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua is not a PBC fighter. He's not a Showtime fighter, but he's a black fighter, which that makes me scratch my head. But their excuse is his manager's white. Well, damn, so is Deontay Wilder. So what else excuse do you have? The only thing I can go on is he's not American, and he's not. They can't put him on a particular shelf with someone like Wilder because Wilder's perimeter is smaller than someone like AJ. Okay, AJ fights in the UK and America and Saudi Arabia and things like that. You see him all over the place. You see him in Spain. You see him in France, Dubai, all these different places. He's more known. So it's hard to cover someone like that when you don't really, I think you feel kind of inferior to. So I think they have to find someone more local that they can really get a grasp on and to connect with, you know, like Errol Spence. Errol Spence fits the bill. He's undefeated. He's an Al Haymon fighter. He fights on PBC and Fox, and that's what they support. And that's what they're going to promote. It doesn't matter if it's the truth or not. It's what you can make people believe. That's the thing about a narrative. Okay, so if you say, hey, man, you know, the sky is orange instead of blue. Well, if you tell people that and they never seen the fucking sky, they'll believe you, right? So that's what Fanon wants people to believe, that Errol Spence is bigger than what he was. I mean, they did the same thing with Wilder. They made you think that Wilder is a bigger draw than Joshua. Like, why would you ever think something that dumb? But it just shows you what they're wanting people to believe because they want people to follow this particular person. But the thing is, I think that's the bad thing to do because a lot of people in a certain demographic don't support fighters of color, especially our color. They don't. I mean, that's no secret. They don't support like they should. They want to do all other types of shit. That's why, you know, if you want someone to support you, if they really want to support you, buy your shit. Not a hookup, not a freebie, not a discount. No, buy my shit. Nothing bootleg or all that. That's bullshit because you will go anywhere else and everywhere else to buy something from someone else and you won't expect that same type of fucking thing. That's the problem. You know what I mean? The familiarity of people that look like you think you have a one-up on or try to get over on someone. So I don't think that's the idea of trying to lie to other people that make people think they're bigger than what they are because a lot of people don't support our own anyway. Counterpunch. So that's what we're dealing with. So Fanon has it actually backwards. He should promote like, hey, buy the fights. You know, get the pay-per-view. Here's my link so you can click on that if he's an affiliate of some sort, you know, to get people to buy the actual fight instead of trying to raise money for his own channel, which I'm convinced a lot of those channels don't give a shit about promoting that fighter. They just want people to watch them on the behalf of the fighter so they can get views. It's not about that. It's about promoting the fighter, admiring the fighter's work and skill and hard work and dedication. You know what I mean? And being proud of that particular person because that particular person supports a certain demographic. On top of that, they're feeding the family. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on that. You guys tell me what you think of Fanon's claims that Errol Spence is a bigger draw than Anthony Joshua. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.